What's up, cool kids? Word of the year this year is fearless. Your girl needs to be fearless, and if I can keep it all the way a buck, last year I was very scary with a lot of things. I'm walking into this new arena of having a new career. I got this podcast, I have these other social channels, I have friends who are doing dope things, and I have people that are influential in my life that are doing things, and I'm like, how can I go where I want to go and low-key not where I want to go, where God is calling me to go? There's a gap between the how I feel I can get there. I don't have a roadmap, a blueprint, a plan. All the people that are around me are bosses, but they're bosses in their own arena. The people that I'm looking at that are kind of doing what I think I'm going to be doing are doing it in a way that is not authentic to me. And so I'm looking around and I'm like, what's going on? Like, how am I supposed to show up in this space? Instead of trying to figure it out, instead of partnering with God on it, instead of even feeling like if I share with people, of course I shared and talked about things, but sometimes I felt like I automatically was going to be misunderstood. So that cut me from sharing more. And what happened was I took in a lot of fear. I would think about something, I would visualize a thought, and I didn't feel like it was possible because I was in it. I didn't feel like it was possible because I didn't have all of the plans. I didn't feel like it was possible because even though I'm reading a word and the word is saying something, I know me, or I know where I've been, or I'm super uncomfortable. So the confidence that I need to go with the faith that I need to walk out the steps that I need to get to the results that I want, I don't know if we can do that. It really, really held me back in so many areas. I'm talking about relationships with other people, stepping up and doing stuff at my church, being the content creator that I'm supposed to be. All areas of my life, I really just felt fearful. And even small things, like those things are like the things that we write on our vision board and our goals. I was fearful to get out of my bed. I'm fearful to make a meal. That is how my experience with anxiety started, from this place. Anxiety is fear. Anxiety is you thinking about a not desirable outcome and making the feelings attached to that your reality in the present, even though the outcome may or may not have taken place. Most times it hasn't taken place. It's like a perceived ending that's gonna happen, and then you have real today, right now feelings because of that perceived ending. That's where I lived. Because I lived there, I walked into the top of this year feeling like, okay, we got things we want to do. I have more clarity now. I have more scripture now. I have community, where I have all these things, all the pieces that a person would want to have in place before they do something. I have more of that now than I had last year. You know what you've got to make sure that you're diligently combating? Your fear. You have to eradicate it, and it's day by day, moment by moment, step by step. I think attached with fearlessness can be these like false, super made up feelings of what bravery looks like, what courage looks like, and how you're supposed to feel if you are fearless, if you are full of courage, if you are walking with hope and power. With those ideals of what that looks like, a lot of times we don't picture ourselves as those type of people. We don't see ourselves as that fearless, powerful, no matter what's in front of me, I'm gonna get it done. I never have a thought of I can't do this or I can't achieve, because I always feel like I can achieve everything. And because we don't really feel that that's not our reality at all times, or not in all the categories of our lives, then we deem, okay, well, I'm not brave, or I'm not strong, or I don't have what it takes to go far in this area, and that's what halts us. What I am going to consciously think about, what I want all of us to think about, is being fearless a lot of times doesn't mean that you don't have fear. It doesn't mean that you have all the answers to a problem. It doesn't mean that the people that are in your way, you've got them down to a science and you know exactly the move they're going to make so you can make your move. It's not that. It is moving on might. When you have a might, this might work out. If I post this video, somebody might connect to it. If I go to work and have that conversation with my boss, they might give me an extension on this deadline. I might get a raise if I point out my case in my yearly review. I might have more fulfillment if I quit my job. I might gain a new friend if I DM this girl that I've been following for a while. I might get me a boo, right? If somebody asks my number and I give it to them. Like, moving on a might, you have a 50% chance. And I actually saw a word by Stephen Furtick, he talked about this. Because of how we look at them, sometimes a lot of things seem very 50-50. Like this could go this way or it could go that way. And because we want it to go a way that's favorable to us, we want it to go a way that looks favorable to other people, we want to go in a way that's favorable to God. Until we feel that we have 100% a go on something, we don't move. And what happens is we rob ourselves of community, of trusting ourselves, of our intuition, our discernment, being up and on 10. We rob ourselves of talking to other people and getting these real world, like real life experiences of how life really works because we're waiting on 100%. A lot of times, I mean, even the juice I drink don't be 100% juice all the time. Like y'all know it. I actually was making some pasta the other day, and the tomato paste that I bought a different tomato paste, and it was like made by 100% tomatoes. Like there was no other ingredients but tomatoes and a tomato paste. And I was like, oh wow, that's how I want to feel with everything though, right? I already know it's tomato paste. I didn't start it on the recipe first off. So if it wasn't, I would have used it anyway. And my food would have came out how I wanted it to be. But I felt good about the fact that it was 100% tomatoes that it was made out of. I felt proud of my decision making. I was happy with my whole shopping experience, even though it had been past. Like I'm in the kitchen now. The grocery store time is up. But I have this extra piece of pride in myself because I had 100% of something as I'm venturing out to do something. But I've used tomato paste, a different brand that, girl, they could have had a different preservative in there or something else, and it wouldn't have meant that my recipe was going to turn out bad. It wouldn't have meant that I don't know how to make the right decisions, or I didn't do enough research, or I need to go to a different store. It don't mean none of that. It literally is just a different makeup that can get me to the same outcome. When we move on a might, and obviously it needs to be an educated guess, girl. Like don't be out here just making any type of haphazard moves. But a lot of times we have enough information to do what we need to do, to go down the path that we want to go down, and halting ourselves to try to gain more information, to pray one more time, to ask for a 50th opinion on something gives us too much information. We get overstimulated. We forget what's our way because we really don't know what our way will be, which is why we feel 50-50 on it. God is revealing what's our way along the way. Do you know how many YouTubers, how many podcasters there are? And if I just wait because I'm trying to figure out how can you make my path look like this person's path, I'll be waiting forever. And I'll be disappointed, I'll be sad, disgruntled, because my way is supposed to be the destiny way. It's not gonna look like the rest of these people. And there'll be some things that can overlap. There could be some things that in this season, I can't do it like this person, but in another season, I'm gonna be right back like, now how do I do this? Because I need to know. Me waiting to get that today would rob me of so much. When we move on a might, you realize what's your path. You realize how much power you have. You realize how much flexibility and creativity that you have. When you are looking for 100%, you can see signs of how you're supposed to make things your own, how your personality can come out in a thing that God's calling us to do, because He's not calling us to be robots. As you're using your voice, as you're standing in your power, you're not a cookie cutter of another person. You're supposed to be you and stand firm, tall, and strong in that. But when you're waiting to figure out how to do it at 100% level and 100% in a way that's confirmed by outside things, you can lose yourself. And you'll lose yourself in a similar way that fear will have you lose yourself, where yourself won't even show up, because you haven't created space or room for you to do so. We'll be asking God for more signs, and He's like, you're the sign. There is no more at this stage, at this level, at this juncture. I need you to move with what you have so far. And what you have so far is 100% of all you can get at this time. So what we're even perceiving as 50%, as half-baked, as not having full knowledge, not having all wisdom, is an inaccurate picture or view of where we are. We actually have 100% of all the picture, of all the vision that we could have at this time. It's all that we have the capacity to take in. We can't perceive any additional information. And when you go with what you know, you're able to get more. right? The prayers that I was lifting up years ago and the prayers that I have now are totally different. How I pray now and how I prayed years ago are totally different because I have more information about who I am. I have more information just about Christianity in general, and that I don't have to be like the rest of the girls. Like, you know, I have more info on who God is and what he responds to. I have more scripture that I can use in my prayers. I have more songs that motivate me than I had in seasons before. So I just show up different. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't have been praying when I first was praying because those prayers were bad or they sucked, or I need to wait till I had 100% understanding of God. I still don't have 100% understanding of God, like, you know, but it's not void of the next step. Like, your next step is simply that. It's your next step. As you are attacking this year, that's how you think of it. There's incremental things that you do, and they're incremental. They build on each other. Nothing is isolated. It says that God delights in us and he orders our steps and he takes delight in that. You don't get to the top of a staircase without the first step, and you can't get to the top of a staircase without the fifth step. Like, you need all the steps. They build on top of each other for you to go where you're being led to go. But if you needed to see the top to get there, you'll never get there because a lot of times we don't see it all. And even if you get it, right, there have been times where I'll have 100%. I'm like, okay, I got this piece, and this piece. It's a go. Let's get it moving. I don't know the future though, right? So I'm not sure that, okay, I know I need to get on this train and go to this place. I didn't know that there was going to be a delay when I got on the train. I didn't know there wasn't going to be seats and I was going to be standing the whole time. I didn't know I'd be sitting by this person and their headphones are super loud. I can hear their music through their earbuds. I don't know everything, even when I have 100% information that I need to begin on my path. And that is why it's best to start to get a move on my spirit going, because you'll never have all the pieces of the pie. When you're entering a conversation with somebody, you're never gonna know exactly what they're gonna say. You might have a good idea if it's a person you're in community with or XYZ, but do you really know anytime how anything is 100% gonna pan out? No, like, who has that type of information? So moving on a might is an act of courage. It is a fearless act. It does require bravery because you're acknowledging that I do not have all the pieces and I'm not going to remain sedentary until I do. I'm going to move with what I have because what I have is enough to keep me moving. When you have that mindset, then you're able to take in all the stimulus around you in a different way. You're able to say, okay, I can speak with power from this place because my words can change what this place looks like. My words can invite in more information. But when you're just sitting and waiting, you're not speaking from a place of, okay, I'm at 39% right now and I would like to get to 40. So how can I speak to get to 40? How can I ask for help to get to 40? How can I research something to get to 40? You are just like, I'm not at 100. And you start to sit in that, and that is your reality. That 100 is so far that it's intangible. You start to think that everybody else has 100% knowledge of what they're doing, where they're going, how their next step is going to pan out. And it makes you further feel like your 39 isn't a 39, you're actually at a 5% level. And that's not what's happening. But when you are sitting in a place of fear, that's what it can begin to feel. And then you start to speak that out. When people try to speak life into you, you repel it because there's no space or capacity for you to believe that there's truth in what they're saying. You can read scripture and I believe there's truth in that because you are like, well, I'm not at 100. Like, how will I know? And you'll be like, well, Moses knew, David knew, Joseph knew, and I'm not like them, so it's a moot point. And it's just not true. Like, literally scripture shows us that like everybody was stressed and depressed at some point because where they wanted to go, where they were called to go, and where they were, there was a gap. But at some point, they moved on might. They moved on, this is what I know for now, and that is enough for me to move. That's fearlessness, folks. That is saying I don't got it all and I don't have to have it all. And I might not never get it all, but what is to be gotten, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna make sure that my name is on that thing. That's powerful. There's so much power in being like, whatever I can get is gonna get gotten, and I'm gonna do it with as full force as I can. I'm gonna put as much faith as I can into the Father on what he's calling me to do at this time. And I did that with my merch launch. Are you joking? I don't have half of the info that I need on things. I wasn't even planning to be an entrepreneur like at any point. Only time, I guess of course when I was young, but even middle school, high school, college, post-college, I definitely want to be an author one day. And so sure, authors, you're writing some words and then you're gonna be selling your words. That's entrepreneurship. So I guess I thought about it at some point, but I'm like, I'm not gonna release a book until I'm like 55. So that's not my reality right now. So to talk about, I'm selling some sweatshirts, some hoodies, huh? What are you talking about? I'm sending invoices for speaking engagements. What? Who doing that? Like, I don't have enough information about that. And even as I was getting information, I'm looking at YouTube videos, TikToks of people that are in the lane of doing what I'm doing, right? How are other YouTubers getting their stuff popping? What the other podcast girlies saying? What are the other people with product-based businesses? What they got going on? How they doing taxes? Like, what's up? I haven't even scratched the surface of all that there is to know about business, all there is to know about content creation, all that there is to know about anything. And yet, it's a website up right now where you can buy the merch. I am moving on might. And as I move, there's more information that I can get. And not just because I'm reading more, continuing to watch videos, but the experience itself, the path has the instructions that I am looking for along it. But I have to take the incremental steps to unlock that knowledge. And me sitting at the starting line and hoping that it comes to me, even if it did, I wouldn't be able to comprehend it because I'm missing the experience that goes along with the lesson. Being fearless doesn't look like everything that's gonna come my way, I'm gonna know what to do. I know that I'm gonna win. I know that nobody's going to judge me. I know that I'm not gonna experience any hardship. I know exactly how to overcome the hardship that I'm gonna meet. That's not what it means. If you look at David, he was literally not even trying to fight Goliath. Like, it was a whole bunch of soldiers on the battlefield. That was a purpose. Like, you're a soldier. He was there to deliver lunch to somebody. Got whispers that there's a battle that's supposed to be going on. And then he decided that he needed to do something about it. And in that doing something, it wasn't that he felt fearless because he's so dope or he's so powerful, he's so knowledgeable on what Goliath's history is, right? He's not so knowledgeable about battle and combat and how you're supposed to get things done and take your enemy down. That's not what it was. He felt like he was able to go forward because he had trust in God's ability. And that God's ability shows up in people that trust in him. So he's like, okay, I trust in God, and God ain't worried about this dude. So if God comes to people that trust in him and I trust in him, I'll be straight, I guess. And he moved forward in that. But did he know? You can tell that he didn't know. When you look at the story, Saul gives him his armor to try on, and he tries it on. Because, hey, maybe I do need this stuff. Let me see what it's talking about. Let me see how I fit. Because he didn't know how really am I handling this battle? Had no idea. But with what he had, his slingshot, he knew how to use that. Everybody else is scared. I know I don't have to be scared if I walk with God, and that's who I walk with. So let me get going with what I have. And as he did that, God came through in a way, but he only was able to do that because David's mindset was that God could. David's mindset was that he could. As that happened, transformation was able to take place. Freedom was able to take place. A new thing that nobody else was able to perform, David was able to do because he decided to move on might. God might defeat this dude. But what I'm not gonna do is stay in here like everybody else and not do nothing. I can't do that. That's the energy I got for 2024. What I'm not gonna do is walk this year out how I walked 2023 out. 2023, please. Like, that was so shameful. Like, for real. I ain't been that down and that out, that fearful, and I mean, ever. Honestly, like, ever. So as I'm walking in 2024, it's fearless. I applied for this little creator thing, and girl, I might have a subscriber count for it. I might have the engagement for it. I might not. But what I'm not gonna do is see the application before the app is due, feel tied to the mission, and not submit. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm filling out my little info, and I'm gonna submit the documents. Like, I might be good at doing this thing at my church, and I might have a lot more to learn. But what I'm not gonna do is sit in the in-between anymore and be battling. Should I sign up for this team? Should I not? Girl, let's just tap in and we'll see what happens. I might get this thing that I'm praying to God for, and he might be like, Buki, they don't got your name on it. I'm not sure. But what I'm not gonna do is keep having these thoughts, keep writing stuff in my journal, and never talk to God about it. I'm not doing that. So let me open my mouth. Let's go and get these prayers out. And God's gonna do his part, whatever that is. I might get the thing, I might not. But I can't sit in a space where I have the power to partner with God to get the thing done, and I don't do it. I have the words. I have enough words with what I know right now to start to get some things moving, and I don't say nothing. I could have the breakthrough for somebody else, and I don't share. I don't send my newsletter. I'm not doing that no more. I can't. Like, the outcome of it, the feeling of it, the impact of it doesn't even add up to if it does happen. If it might, the might part, the good part of it, oh, it's popping. It's lit on that side. Why would I not try to get there? If I might have the power to get there, let's put that to the test and see what happens. And what I'm finding that even if it's not 100% what I want, or it's showing, some things are obviously, it's like the beginning of the year, some things are like moving in the direction of what I want, but yeah, it needs time to bake. Okay, let's keep moving then, because there's potential for it to still happen. It might happen next month. So let me step on the steps I need to step on this month, so next month there's greater potential that it might happen. Moving on to might is an act of courage. It's an act of faith. It's an act of fearlessness. It's an act of you standing fully in who you are at this time so you can get who you're to become in the days to unfold. That's power. That's God. Like, that's literally Jesus. I gotta do this right here so I can get to that over there. And he did that being like, they might give their life over to me. It's not even guaranteed, but I can't know if they will. I can't save anybody if I don't step on this step right here. Like, that's literally our example from Jesus. So if Jesus did it and he don't know who gonna be, I mean, he know because God knows everything. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who gonna be taking a communion cracker. Like, can't nobody have a representation of my body if my actual body don't go on that cross. So let me go and hop up here and do what I need to do, so you might have an opportunity to do what you feel compelled to do if you encounter me. That's the example that we have. So as I am sitting in that fearlessness place, if I ever have any moments of I'm not fearless for real because I have thoughts, right? Or I'm not as brave as this person, or I have a lot of strides to go. All of those things that we're all susceptible to in this natural, in this human to think. I'm combating that with, this is what fearlessness looks like. Going with what I have, moving on the might to create opportunity for other things to take place. And if I do that and not stand in a place, and sometimes standing is an act of being fearless as well, because we busy ourselves and we always want to move, talk, share, grow, read, more. And God's like, can we hang out? Inviting some peace into this moment is actually your fearless act. That's what I want you to do. It can vary, but being fearless is creating space for a new outcome to come in a way that is countercultural for how you feel it could be done because you don't have all the information. And I think that that will be the unlock to a lot of things this year. Interpersonally, professionally, spiritually, we'll see some things happen as we get that done. So the power tool for this week is to redefine what fearlessness looks like for you. Redefine what courage looks like. What does bravery mean? And contextualize it. For work right now, where I'm at, what would having courage in this space look like? With my creativity, what would having courage look like? For me, I like to edit, especially as I'm growing on YouTube. I love a little edit. But TikTok, sometimes it's like, let me just drop this real quick and dip. That's courage for me right now. It's not feeling like I have to have as much to say or as eloquent of a thing to say and then I have to chop it and screw it. It's like, record, post. At one point, it was, I want to share more poems. So I was sharing my poems on Instagram all the time with my roommate all the time. And that was courage for me at that time because standing in a place of fear was writing the poems and not sharing it with nobody. Redefine what bravery, courage, fearlessness looks like in this season. Really contextualize it for the areas of your life that you feel it may be void. The areas of your life where you feel like you're looking for that 100%. Well, I just need God to confirm. It's like, he confirmed the 50% that he want to give you right now, and that's all you gonna get. You ain't gonna get even 51% because you only got the capacity for the 50. You only have the experience for the 50. You only have the comprehension skills for the 50. So that's the 100% that you're gonna get today. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I hope it was helpful, and I really can't wait to hear how even this month could shape out different by having this mentality, because it truly is something that builds, but as it builds you feel more comfortable, and I feel like we'll take bigger steps, we'll achieve bigger things, and as God wants to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can ask, think, or imagine in our lives, we will have opened up space for him to drop that in our lap. So we ain't even doing the work to receive the extra that he want to give us, but we'll have the space, the capacity to be like, okay, and get the blessing and recognize that it's a blessing because we were taking these steps all along and they were building for us to get to the place that we want to be. I love you guys. I really love the people that have officially made themselves a part of the Cool Kids Collective by purchasing some merch. All the support that I have got from you guys, from emails, DMs, and those who have put that credit card info in. I love y'all down, and I'm so thankful because, like I said, it was a little scary berry for me to be launching this thing, and there's still things that I want to create and do, but this piece of the collection and this start is near and dear to me and like super important because I mean, I do be vulnerable on the show, but it's still something that I'm like, ugh, like crying. I'll be like, ugh. And I have to have the reminder that it is okay and that Jesus cried. And if he cried, I ain't no better than him. I can shed a couple thug tears too. That is what the first drop of the collection, Cool Kids Cry 2, is all about. It's just a reminder that if Christ can sit in his emotions and we are trying to be like the ultimate cool kid, which is him, then we can cry too. And if there's space for our emotions, and I feel like it's the perfect wintertime attire. Like it's low-key snow flurrying outside right now. Girl, like the Cool Kids sweatshirt, it's really the hoodie. The hoodie I have been wearing down in here. The shirt, of course, I've been popping that, but the crew neck and the hoodie have been staples because it's cold. So be sure, if you haven't already, to cop. And if you have, share the link with a friend. It'll be in the notes. But I really thank y'all, all the people in general, even if you haven't bought, just the support has been phenomenal. So I appreciate y'all, love y'all down. And I can't wait to see y'all and all the merch. The pre-orders finish at the end of the month, so you have a little bit more time to be one of the first peeps to get the merch, and then it'll be regular smuggler shopping bop from there. So I love y'all. Remember to profess your power, and that's power in prose. Bye.